Sri Lanka's most powerful news brand.
Hello there, very good evening. This is the weekend edition of Primetime News. They're coming to you live and direct this evening from our Newsfirst studios in Colombo. I'm Joel Outschool. Let's start off with a look at our headline-making stories.
Rains continue as Cyclone Oki moves away from Sri Lanka after claiming 15 lives. More revelations on foreign exchange bill. Construction of 500 model village begins under auspices of UNP Deputy Leader Minister Sajith Premadasa.
Well, starting off the news with a look from the story from the President's Diary this evening. Water was released from the Murugakhanda reservoir under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena today to test its hydropower generation capabilities. The test phase of the hydropower plant constructed at the Murugakhanda reservoir is set to be completed within 4 days, following which 25 megawatts will be added to the national power grid. A saving of around 336 million rupees is expected to be made in fuel expenditure a year. With the heavy rains currently being experienced, the required water capacity to generate power from the Murugakhanda project had reached full potential by yesterday.
This is a dream come true for me. Back then we witnessed the opening of the Victoria Dam. At an election, an MP said on stage that we are visiting projects which they implemented and it was like magic to us. But today, I have performed that magic.
Now, over the past couple of days, we at the Newsfirst Centre have been reporting on a weather system that has caused havoc in Sri Lanka. Now, this weather system has moved away from the country, but we are still continuing to face the effects of this weather system, and we are hearing reports that another weather system is on its way. So let's take a look at the satellite images, let's take a look at the maps to see where the weather system is now and what we can expect in the days to come. Now, the low pressure system that was around here about 2 to 3 days ago has moved well into the Arabian Sea and is currently off the coast of India. As you can see, the center of this depression is currently off the coast of India, but the outer edges of this weather system is still hovering over the country. So that is why we are continuing to face some rainfall, some considerable amount of rainfall these days as well. If you take a look at the cloud cover, you can clearly see the weather system that is here, and you can also see a weather system creeping in from this area, from the Indonesian side. It seems to be creeping towards the country. So let's take a look at this particular weather system. The current predictive models suggest that this particular weather system will close in on the country by Monday, the 4th of this month. This is the weather system as it stands today. This bright purple area is where the most rainfall is being experienced today. Let's take a look at the 4th of this month, that's Monday, to see where this weather system will be. There you go. By the 4th, the center of this depression will be the closest to the island. It will mainly affect the eastern and northern areas of the country. Heavy rainfalls, highly possible, and there will also be strong winds in this sea area caused due to this new system that is expected to close in on the country by the 4th. If you fast forward to the 5th, the predictive model suggests that it will move a bit closer, but it seems to be moving upwards towards India. Fast forward to the 8th, it will be moving away from the country and going towards the northern region of India. So the path of this second system is coming in from the Indonesian side, closing in on the eastern sea border, but moving away upwards and away towards the Indian side. So even though this weather system is not expected to make landfall, the outer edges of this system will still cause a considerable amount of rainfall over the next week, and there will be heavy, strong winds experienced in the sea areas of the eastern coast. So if you are setting out to sea from this area especially, be very careful. The western and southern areas, we are likely to receive less amount of rain. The wind speeds are expected to be less, but the northern and eastern regions, if you are in these regions, you need to be careful as this weather system approaches. Now, the earlier weather system, which went through the country a couple of days ago, has caused a certain amount of damage to the infrastructure as well as lives. Let's take a look at the damages caused by this weather system.
The inclement weather that was experienced recently has had a direct impact on 16 districts. According to the Disaster Management Centre, 15 casualties have been reported due to the inclement weather. 106,076 people belonging to 31,165 families were affected by the inclement weather. The Disaster Management Centre reports that 694 homes were completely damaged, while further 25,117 houses suffered partial damages. 4 fishermen have been reported missing after setting out to sea from Negombo on the 16th of last month. The missing vessel has been identified as the Tharushaputa multi-day trawler, and the crew of 4 included a father and son. The remains of another fisherman who was on board one of the 7 vessels that disappeared after setting out to sea from the Dodanduwa harbour washed ashore near Balapitiya today. 3 such bodies washed up along the coastlines yesterday. The remains of the 26-year-old Ukrainian national who went missing while bathing in the sea in Gaul washed ashore in Indruva this morning. Heavy rains and strong winds were experienced in the Batiklo area today. Several low-lying areas in the Gaul district remain inundated today. Areas such as Agalia, Dodangoda and Nagoda in the Baddegama Divisional Secretariat area were inundated in this manner. A number of low-lying areas in the Bope, Poddala area were also inundated due to the inclement weather. Several areas in Matare, including Makadura, Sapugoda, remain inundated today as well. The National Building Research Organisation notes that the landslide warning issued for 9 districts remains in place. Residents in the Badulla, Ratnapura, Matale, Gaul, Matara, Kandy, Norelia, Kegol and Kaluthara districts have been advised to remain vigilant due to the possibility of landslides and cut slope failures. A large number of people were affected by power failures caused due to the inclement weather. Officials of the Ceylon Electricity Board were seen working tirelessly today as well in order to restore the electricity supply.
66 safe evacuation locations being set up over the country. So all the relief missions being started by the Minister of Disaster Management and the National Disaster Relief Centre with the coordination of the Disaster Management Centre. Triforces police giving a police cooperation over the country in all the missions.
With the changes in weather that are happening, Newsfirst received a report of a bit of a bizarre incident where fishermen that set out to sea from the Batiklo area have been catching a lot of sea snakes. Let's take a look at the visuals.
When contacted, the National Aquatic Resource Research and Development Agency or NARA said the public need not unnecessarily panic about the situation. It added the reduction in the levels of salinity in the seawater and the rise in temperatures is caused for this phenomenon. NARA went on to note that the direction of waves and change in wind courses could also be the reason for this occurrence.
Justice is sometimes a slow and strenuous process. That is why on occasions people, especially in the villages, pray to Mother Nature for her to grant justice of some sort towards them. Keeping this in mind, we are now going to listen to the views expressed by Namal Karunaratna of the All Ceylon Peasants Federation, who had something very interesting to say.
The central bank was robbed in broad daylight. Not only that, billions of rupees are allocated to buy luxury vehicles, purchase official residences, repair them and go overseas trips. Money is swindled during the construction of expressways. It is the people who are forced to pay the price through all of this. All these thieves are living the life in Parliament. Whose lives are lost in landslides? Who gets washed away by floods? whose property is destroyed, who faces all these tragedies? It is the farmer. Even Mother Nature is punishing the innocent people whose livelihoods is farming, while these thieves go ahead with their luxurious lives. Well, thank you very much, Ramesh, for bringing us that comprehensive weather update this evening. This evening, now speaking at an event held yesterday, former President Mahinda Rajapaksa expressed the following views.
After coming into power in 2005, if I had put everything else aside and instructed all my government officials to find all the faults of every minister and president and pull out their old files, you think they wouldn't have done it? I would have done it far better than this. I could have collected all the files I had with me. But had I done that, the war would not have been ended. There would be no development, and investors would not come into the country. It is the complete opposite that has happened today. Officials are instructed to pull out files, and that is exactly what they are doing. Ultimately, their own files have also come out. This is what is being revealed at commissions, so everyone should be aware of this.
A program was held in Colombo today to distribute school equipment to children of low-income families.
For 6 years, until the present government came into power in 2015, the then government had been enjoying the benefits of the war and did nothing to create reconciliation and unity among the various ethnicities and communities. The new government gave a clear promise in 2015. They promised to create an honest and theft-free nation. I'm not quite sure if that has happened or not. You probably know about it better than I do. They said those who committed wrong would be punished. They promised to ensure the freedom of the people, and that has happened. They also promised to bring forth a new constitution which would give equal rights to those who belong to every community and religion in this country. A constitution will be limited to writings on a piece of paper or just words if efforts are not taken to eradicate divisions among people of our country. A majority of the people in this country do not like this division. Who is creating this division then? It is the opportunist political leaders who are incapable of winning votes by themselves who create these issues for their petty political gains.
තමාට තනියම ඡන්ද ගන්න බැරි අවස්ථාවාදී දේශපාලන නායකයෙක්.
Now addressing a media briefing today, Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca commented on former President Mahinda Rajapaksa.
Even if a commission was appointed during his time, he would be the one controlling it. He was the one who controlled the judiciary. He was the one who controlled the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. He was the one who stoned them and surrounded their homes. But those days are over. If that had happened to him, he wouldn't even have the time to think, what if I was there?
Speaking to News First, Attorney at Law Kanishka Vitharuna explained the possible pitfalls of the new foreign exchange regulations. Act number 12 of 2017 grants approval for 3 groups to engage in foreign exchange transactions. The first group is commercial banks, the second is restricted dealers, and the third is a dealer who receives special permissions for specific purposes as may be prescribed by the minister. When considering if money laundering could occur through this act, we need to consider if money earned illegally in another country could be used to acquire property in this country. Such an individual could make an investment in a company or acquire other properties. We don't know how money is being earned abroad. Such persons could use the 2 new types of dealers to invest in something and in the process turn black money into white money. If that happens, our country will become a haven for such activities. There are very limited actions in this act to stop something of this nature. There are plenty of foreign exchange reserves out in the world that have been earned through illegal means. There's plenty of black money in terrorist groups and extremist groups waiting to be laundered. Through the provisions of this act, these groups could potentially use this money to invest in properties in this country, turn it into white, and then take the money out of the country once again.
The Attorney at Law also explained about the fate of legal cases regarding foreign exchange fraud filed under the previous legislation.
When this act was brought forward, there were issues as to what would happen to the cases filed under the previous legislation. Article 30 of the new act states that all suits, actions and proceedings instituted under the repealed act shall be deemed to be suits, actions and proceedings instituted under the repealed act and be heard and concluded under that Act, and all investigations and inquiries instituted under this repealed Act shall be deemed to be investigations and inquiries instituted under the repealed Act and shall be concluded under that Act within a period of 6 months from the appointed date. This means that the new legislation will have no effect on cases filed under the previous legislation. However, cases which have been heard or someone who has been freed under the previous Act based on a technicality have not been covered by the Article 30. We all know that a famous minister had a similar case against him filed under the previous legislation. He was freed based on a technicality pertaining to a charge sheet. That case stopped there. So when the new legislation came in, this particular case won't be considered as an active case or an active investigation. That is what I believe. Still in news here at home this evening, the foundation stone for the 500th model village, which has been constructed under the revived Udagamara program, was laid today by Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Minister Sajid Premadasa.
The model village will be constructed in the Siribopura area in Hambantota. The village, which consists of 35 houses, has been named Sirigamunu Rajagama.
Land was not divided during the previous regime. Instead, what happened was that the rulers divided land among themselves. We will not try to use thuggery and state terrorism to rob these lands. If someone is doing this, that person is the #1 traitor. There are those who oppose us and go and spread lies. But I would like to say that no matter what they say, you must be intelligent and listen with intent. TNA parliamentarian S. Yogeswaran expressed these views while attending a program to award housing loans in the Batticaloa area today.
Sajid
Premadasa has given a large amount of money to the people last year and this year as well. He has given housing to those who were affected by the war and the tsunami. However, some of these houses are being destroyed because they have not been used properly. Recently, Shakti TV also highlighted this. We must take maximum use of these constructions in a manner that the hopes and aspirations of Sajid Premadasa, who might be the future president of this country, are fulfilled. The 46th National Day Celebrations of the United Arab Emirates were celebrated in Sri Lanka last evening. The celebrations held in Colombo last evening saw the attendance of President Maithripala Sirisena, Speaker of Parliament Karu Jayasuriya, a number of ministers, ambassadors, high commissioners and members of the diplomatic corps.
Our vision is to make Sri Lanka a prosperous nation by 2025. We will do so by transforming Sri Lanka into the hub of the Indian Ocean with a knowledge-based, highly competitive social market economy. We invite the UAE to be a strong partner in achieving our targets.
A number of joint venture trade projects are being implemented in both countries, helping to link the two countries together even more closely. Charitable and humanitarian institutions in the UAE continue to provide a lot of aid to Sri Lanka. And this year, several new projects were funded in keeping with the declaration of this year as the year of giving.
A 3-member delegation from the United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention will undertake an official visit to Sri Lanka to assess the country's situation regarding the deprivation of liberty.
The UN Human Rights Office of the High Commissioner said the working group is expected to arrive on Monday, the 4th of December. The delegation will visit Colombo as well as Western, North Central, Northern, Eastern, Southern and Central provinces, where they will meet government officials, civil society groups and other relevant stakeholders. The 3-member delegation will be led by Australian Chair Rapporteur Leigh Tomey and comprises Jose Guevara from Mexico and Elena Steinert from Latvia. The experts will share their preliminary observations at a press conference on the 15th of December in Colombo and will present its final report on the visit to the UN Human Rights Council in September 2018.
Shifting our attention to news back here at home. Now, it has been over 5 years since the military forces stormed the Valikadu prison, causing the deaths of 27 inmates. It has been nearly 2.5 years since a report on the incident was handed over to the Prime Minister. Newsfirst has been able to unearth more details regarding the incidents that transpired on that fateful day. We were joined by former Chief Jailer of the Valikadu prison, P.W. Kudabanda, and journalist Kasun Pusballa.
ඔබතුමාගේ බන්ධනාගාර සේවය වසර කීයක්ද?
මම වසර 40ක් මගේ බන්ධනාගාර දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවේ සේවා කාලේ.
දැන් විශ්‍රාම ගිහිල්ලා. මේ සිද්ධිය සිද්ධ වෙන 2012 කාලේ ඔබතුමා දරු තනතුර කුමක්ද?
මම ඒ කාලේ ප්‍රධාන ජේල.
ප්‍රධාන ජේල. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ සිද්ධිය සිද්ධ වෙන ඒ සම්පූර්ණ කාල සීමාව තුළම ඔබතුමා බන්ධනාගාරයේ රාජකාරී කටයුතු වල ඉන්නවා.
කටවල මම නිරතව හිටියා.
හරි. එතකොට මේ කියන જાතියේ සිද්ධියක් නැත්නම් කැරැල්ලක් බන්ධනාගාරයේ ඇති වුණාද?
ඒ කැරැල්ලක් මම හිතන්නේ කැරැල්ලක් නෙවෙයි ඒක. බන්ධනාගාර බලධාරීන්. ඒ වෙලාවේ හිටපු ප්‍රධාන ජේල විශ්ව මමවත් බන්ධනාගාර අධිකාරිතුමාවත් නොදැනුවත්ව අපව දැනුවත් නොකර පිටස්තර කණ්ඩායමක් බන්ධනාගාර සෝදිසි කිරීමේ පැමිණීමට තමයි පළවෙනි හේතුව. ඒ පිටස්තර කණ්ඩායම STF එක. STF එක. ඒ පිටස්තර කණ්ඩායමක් එලෙස බන්ධනාගාරයට පැමිණ මේක සර්ච් කිරීමක් කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා ආරක්ෂක මාණ්ඩලික රැස්වීමකදී වගේ ස්ථානයකදී ඉල්ලීමක් කරන්න හිටපු බන්ධනාගාර කොමසාරිස් ජෙනරාල්වරයා නේද? PW පොඩිපිලි මහත්මයා තමයි ඉල්ලා තිබුණේ බන්ධනාගාරය ඇතුලෙන් පරීක්ෂා කිරීම සඳහා බන්ධනාගාර නිලධාරීන් විශ්වාසනීයභාවය අඩුයි සහ වුණුත් මේ බන්ධනාගාරය ඇතුලෙන් වෙන අපරාධ වලට සම්බන්ධයි කියලා වුන් පූර්ව නිගමනයකට ආවිත්. යම්කිසි ආකාරයක ඉල්ලීමක් වාර්තාවක් නිල වශයෙන් හෝ නොනිල වශයෙන් හෝ අඩුම ගානේ තේකක් බොන ගමන් හරි කියලා තියෙනවද අපිට මේ වැඩේ කරන්න බෑ වෙන කට්ටිය දාලා සර්ච් කරලා දෙන්න. මම නම් දන්නේ විදිහට එහෙම දෙයක් ඉල්ලීමක් කරලා නැහැ. මේකේ මෙහෙම ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා මේකට STF එකෙන් හෝ වෙනත් කෙනෙක් කට්ටියක් දාලා මේක සර්ච් කරලා දෙන්නේ කියලා බන්ධනාගාර කොමසාරිස් ජෙනරාල්වරයාට ඉල්ලීමක් කරන්න හිතෙන්නේ ඇයි? එතුමා මම දන්න විදිහට බන්ධනාගාර දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවේ සේවය කරපු නිලධාරියෙක් නෙවෙයි. දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවේ සේවය කළ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවේ අධ්‍යක්ෂකම් අවබෝධයක් තියෙන කෙනෙක් එහෙම තීරණ ගන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ වකවානුවේදී හිටපු චන්ද්‍රාවාකිෂ්ඨ සහ අනුර සේනානායක වගේ පොලිසියට සම්බන්ධ නිලධාරීන් පුනපුනා කියලා තියෙනවා ආරක්ෂක මණ්ඩලයේදී රට තුල සිදුවන අපරාධ බහුතරයක් සිදු වෙන්නේ මේ බන්ධනාගාරගත වෙලා ඉන්න බන්ධනාගාර මේ රැඳවියන් අතින් කියලා. ඒ කියන උපකල්පනය මත පිහිටලා තමයි මේ අය සෝදිසියක් කරන්න අවශ්‍යයි කියලා ඉල්ලලා තියෙන්නේ. නමුත් එතන ගැටලුව බන්ධනාගාර නියෝගානුව සහ බන්ධනාගාර දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවක් තියෙද්දි ඔවුන් නිලධාරීන් පුහුණු කරලා තියෙද්දිත් පිටස්තර පැරාමිලිටරි ඒකකයක් එවනවා. ඒ එවන්නේත් ඉල්ලපු ප්‍රමාණයට වඩා වැඩි. එතකොට ඒවන කියන්නේ බන්ධනාගාර දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවේ නිත්‍ය නියෝගවල පවා තියෙනවා පිටතින් එහෙම ගෙනෙන්න අවශ්‍යතාවයක් නැහැ. එහෙනම් අහල පහල බන්ධනාගාර වලින් බන්ධනාගාර නිලධාරීන් කියන අපිට තියෙන විශේෂ ආරක්ෂා බුද්ධිය එකක. ඒ බුද්ධියගේ පුහුණු නිලධාරීන් නම් බන්ධනාගාර නිලධාරීන්ට හොඳ පුහුණුවක් දෙනවා. 40 වසරක ඔබේ අත්දැකීම් වලින් ඔබට කියන්න පුළුවන් ද එදා වැලිකඩ බන්ධනාගාරයේ එහෙම ප්‍රශ්නයක් තිබුණා නම් ඒක සම්පූර්ණයෙන් මැඩපවත්වා ගැනීම හැකියාව ඔබතුමාගේ ටීම් එකට පුළුවන් කියලා? අනිවාර්යෙන් තිබුණා. බලධාරීන් දැනුවත් කරලා සෝදිසියකට පිටින් කණ්ඩායමක් ආව නම් අපි ආරක්ෂක සංවිධාන සපයනවා බලහත්කාරයෙන් බන්ධනාගාරයට තුල් වෙන්න.
Well, it is important that parents pay special attention to the safety of their children. Failure to do so could have unpleasant results. Such a case with negligence was caught on camera today. Well, on that note, we wrap this edition of Primetime News. Thank you very much for stopping by. More news follows on our website, www.newsfirst.lk. I'm Joel Outsco and have yourself a great evening ahead. Take care.